Episode 2 is sponsored by friendship. You guys can accomplish a lot with that special friend. I decided to make an apology and went on with my journey. I found this banana guy and we did some of the quest line. A lot of it was just doing dungeons, so I'm just gonna skip ahead for the clash gem portion. I decided to open the box with my boomeranger, and I know that I should be giving my farming classes all the good stuff, but since I'm gonna be farming along with my main account, I don't see much of a point, so I'm just gonna build that whenever I get the extra gems for it. So I opened the box and I actually got a crystal. Sadly, it is a 2-star, but at least we can get some power rank with it. And the power of friendship doesn't stop there. I decided to do my weeklies from delves to get my lunar souls. Plus it was a good way to get some XP. After I carried Mr. 228 from Delves, I decided to do some of those adventure quests for XP. I have to hit level 30 just so I can unlock all of my gem spots, and I can work on making them perfect later on. After all of that farming, I managed to get to level 25, and I started opening my gem boxes that I happened to get. I managed to get some temporary ones that I can just put on, so I just equipped them and didn't do much with it. Next, I wanted to do something with all of the Titan souls and the lunar souls, so I went over to the Shadowy market and spent my Titan souls on the mastery. We get a bunch of those anyways, so it's not much of a big deal. And as for my lunar souls, I had to make some careful decision making. I could go for the mastery items, but I also need to make progress in some way. So what I did is I got 2 of the tomes that were pretty cheap to craft, which makes it so I have something to work towards each week. Then for the remaining lunar souls, I decided to take my chances with the empowered gem boxes. Even if they all end up being terrible, which has happened to me before, opening 30 of them, I knew that I could at least craft the guaranteed stellar if it came down to it. I opened the boxes and I was thinking there's no way I didn't get at least 1 stellar from all of that. Did I really just waste all of my lunar souls for that? I went back to the loot collector to check my buyback options, and there it was. 2 empowered gems with 3 stars on them. I took a couple of the 2 stars just in case I needed them later on for extra power rank, and after making a newbie mistake twice, I put back my Radiant and replaced my empowered air gem, which also happened to be Radiant. Then I put on my cosmic gem, and I went to go craft some of the guaranteed stellars to see if I could get anything else from those. Oh, and I also crafted the Mount Brilliant Stone since I already had the resources for that. And I'm not sure what happened exactly, but the planets must have aligned, the stars were in the sky, I broke up with my crush, and I somehow got a 3-star Pyrodisc and a Vampirian Vanquisher. Maybe it had something to do with the friendship and I got friend-zoned, but that's some Hugh Tao gaming if you guys know what I'm talking about. The other was a 2-star Berserk Battler, which was cool, but we weren't completing the pieces of the puzzle without each other. Anyway, Annie Lionheart, I think I finally knew how Pokemon's editor felt. From here, I decided to work on some of my professions. Then whenever I got stuck, I swapped to my quest lines that I had to still finish. I mixed in some geode as well, got through the quest line, leveled up some modules, got through some of the Crystology workbench, but that's all the boring stuff, so we'll just skip ahead a little bit. Okay, not that far forward. I decided that I needed XP to level up, but I also wanted some gem boxes, so I did some U9 farming, powered by friendship. I did a pretty good amount of farming, and basically the next few days going forward, and even the next couple weeks going forward, I made some little progress with each thing. It was a little cycle that I had going. I would log on, get my flux, sell something, get my dailies, weeklies if I had any, went to Geo to claim my reliquary, try to work on some professions, then I logged off. I've been putting in more hours on my main account than this account, but don't worry, I still hop on this account to get some progress for the day. My main mission was to get Boomeranger to level 30, so I was mainly just doing my adventure quests, and I also did a bit of delves. During my delve farm, I was able to get some Crystal 2 gear, which was nice. My weapon is still at 1, but that's only temporary. I kept on farming and I was getting closer and closer to reaching my goal. I kept doing dungeons, quests, and even delves. At some point, I met a friendship who was doing some 115 plus delves, and I couldn't turn that down. I did my best to do as much damage as I could in there while making sure to press E on the portal. For the love of God, please press E on the portal and just stay. Listen, you guys can start up your Let's Play channels, file your 2023 taxes, take out a loan later. Right now we're gaming, so if you want to be involved in more runs and make friendships along the way, press E, then you can do anything you want. Now, I'm not saying go rob a bank, but just drink some water, take a shower once in a while. This video is also sponsored by water. Don't go near water if you're allergic or can't have it for some reason. Do what Pokemon's editor couldn't do, which is to play Trove. I hope you didn't think I was gonna say something else, but if you did, then I guess let me know in the comments down below why they not like us. Anyway, Annie Lionheart, after doing some delves, I finally hit level 30. My goal has been reached and I can end the series. Just kidding. But now that means we can start working on our gems a little bit more. Before I did that, I crafted a couple things from the Shadowy market with my lunar souls. Now, it was finally time. I waited until Wednesday to work on my gem stuff and it was time to go in. The mission here was to level up all of my gems to 15 and replace all of my gems that weren't stellar. So I went on another farming mission through the power of friendship and collected some gems for each elemental type. Besides the cosmic, I was gonna worry about that one later. It took me a while to gather all of them, but it was worth it. I just opened my gem boxes and I actually got some decent gems out of these boxes. Some of them are magic damage, but that'll change over time. At this point, I made it to 16,000 power rank, which was huge. Farming for the stellar gems was starting to actually pay off. I decided to take care of my clash gem situation, and at the moment it was just a 2-star, but it was also crystal. I would much rather try to get a 3-star, even if it happened to be a stellar. I could just use the crystal gem converter if I needed to. I used the last remaining keys I had, and I actually got a 3-star in power gem. Sadly, it was for the air gem, which kinda sucks. I had Paradise, but in a way it does make sense. Boomeranger wasn't going to be my farming class, so there was really no reason to have it on him. I could just give it to some other class if I eventually got one. I removed my fire and power gem and replaced the air gem. Then I leveled up that one to 15. Then I put on my fire and power gem, leveled up that one and my other ones as well. My power rank grew to 18,000, and there was one last thing left for me to do. I farmed the air world until I was able to replace my shadow gem. After that, I got enough boxes to hit karma bar, and something unexpected happened. I ended up getting a really good fire gem out of it. Sadly, it was magic damage, but at the moment I'm just looking to increase my power rank. I can always just swap that to a magic damage class whenever the time was right. My air gem that I got at least had physical damage, so that was pretty good. And it was also pretty good power rank. I put it on and I got to 19,000 power rank. I was really close to 20k. But do you guys remember the sponsor of the video? No, not the Pokemon or the water, but it was the friendship. I acquired a Crystal 4 ring box for Boomeranger, and that got me just enough power rank to hit 20k power rank. I thought that was a pretty good stopping point, but I also remembered one final thing. Shoutouts to Summer for this idea, but since I did some Dell farming, I was actually able to craft one of the banners at the hub. So not only does this give power rank, but it also gives a decent amount of lights. It's not as much as the weekly torch or the perma, but this is really good for new players. So huge thank you to you, Summer. Don't forget that milkshakes are pretty good, and I'd say that's a pretty good stopping point for this episode. Alright, you guys can't tell anybody, but I'm going to do a Gonda giveaway. So those of you that made it this far into the video, we have a Gonda over here, and a Fortress, and an Alburn. So if any of you guys actually need this, drop your IGN in the description down below. I said description, I really meant to say comments, so drop it in the comments. Don't do the description because I don't want to get hacked. Anyway, Annie Lionheart, I couldn't have done this giveaway without Banana or Mr. 228, however you want to refer to him as. And then with your IGN, I don't want to hear any sob stories about why you guys need this Gonda. I'm sure a lot of you guys would want this Gonda or need this Gonda, or it's like been your lifelong goal. I can only give it to one person, and all 3 of these items are going to go to one person. And the thing I hate about giveaways is that more people end up being sad than happy. But you know, power of friendship. You know, maybe if you guys don't win, we can still be friends, right? But drop it down in the comments down below. I'll go through all of your comments, and then also in the next video, so after this video, I'm going to announce the winner. So if you don't watch that video, then I don't know, I'm just going to re-roll it or something, or just something. I don't know. Doing YouTube giveaways are kind of hard. So friendship stays strong. The Gonda is going to go to one of you guys, as well as the other 2 items. So 2 free dragons. You can either learn it or sell it or give it to some random person in the hub, or I don't know what you want to do with it. Just don't do anything too shady. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you find yourself coming back, and stay tuned for episode 3. I'm out.